Okay. So welcome. And yeah, we're here to share about the goals that we've set and how we are moving along with achieving them, or if we're stumbling along and maybe not achieving them. We want to talk about like why tonight we want to talk about why we don't achieve our goals or what's in the way. And but before we jump into that, I would love to hear from both of you around what goals you set for this month or maybe for this quarter or for this year. Like what are some, and I know Jennifer and I know this, but I think it would be nice for everyone to hear also Jennifer. Yeah. So would either of you want to start with sharing what your
We
goal?
didn't do our grounding practice.
Oh my God, I'm jumping right into it. Okay. J Loves, keep us on topic.
Okay, so we're gonna ground in first, just so that we can get clear, calm, and collected. So if you want to let your body get comfortable, maybe close your eyes. And especially since Miriam just ran here from work, get comfortable in your body, sink in, and just start to focus your attention on your breath. And notice if you're breathing through the nose or you're breathing through the mouth, or maybe it's sort of a combination of both. And we're not trying to change anything right here. We are just taking an inventory of what's happening in the body. Noticing the quality of the breath. Is it full and expansive? Is it soft and shallow? Just feeling into the body, into the breath, and where the breath is in the body right now. You may be breathing just into the throat. You may be noticing the sensation of the breath in the chest, in the shoulders, and seeing if you can deepen the breath and experience more of that life force in your body into your rib cage. Down, filling up into the belly. And then seeing how deep, how low the breath moves into your body. And noticing as you focus on your breath, you get further and further away from what was a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, earlier on in your day, and you let that go. Stay with the sensation of your breath. And this is the gift of presence. This is the tool for stillness and introspection. And just be here in your breath, allowing the cycles to flow in and flow out. And the deeper the breath, the more effort you are using in turning off the analyzer, the critic, the negative ego. And you're moving deeper into your authenticity, your expanded self, your equanimity. And let this part of you be the voice that speaks. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. 5 cycles of breath here. Clearing the mind, cleansing the body with the breath. Open the mouth. Breathe in 5 breaths through the mouth. Releasing any stuck, stagnant energy, letting it flow, letting it move. Coming into your full aliveness. And cultivating a deep sense of calm. And come into your natural rhythm of breath. And bring your awareness up to between your eyes, that space between the eyebrows. And in your mind's eye, calling in what those goals were for the month. What you wanted to be held accountable to and for. What commitments you made to yourself, for your physical body, for your mental health, and honoring your emotions. And it's okay if they were challenges, giving yourself permission to express those challenges and be vulnerable. And also allowing yourself to boast, to celebrate the things that you've achieved, being witnessed in all of that. And when you're ready to be seen, you can allow the eyes to flicker open and come back. Okay, Katie.
Oh my
Now
God.
we can go into
Aries.
any questions.
It's Aries season. I can't help it. And I'm just so I love you both. So I'm really excited to hear about just how you're doing with your self-care and where you're at, and if you'd like to share your specific goals or just maybe one or two of them. But yeah. And also I'd like to see a show of hands who did Jamie's goal setting meditation that was sent out. Ah, yes, we've got invitation for your self-practice homework already. Yeah, yeah.
Can I
So,
just tell you guys something
yeah.
Yeah.
quickly? At 7:28, they started jackhammering concrete out right below my living room. And it's like so loud that it's deafening because there's a copper drain pipe, and the sound is just coming right up the copper drain pipe into this room as though they're right in the room, and it's off and on. So I'm going to try and stay here, but if I have to go out, I'll go outside or something, or in the bathroom or something. So
I know how frustrating that is. I was in my building for 4 summers in a row where they were doing that all summer from May until September.
oh wow.
Doing all the balconies. So I get it.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd warn you if I'm not muted and suddenly, that's what it is.
Thank you.
This is a really the other reason we're interested in goals and planting seeds, because this is a really powerful time of year with equinox. The energies outer, like from the sun and from beyond, that are hitting the planet are here, that are supporting us to plant the seeds, to plant the intentions of and the visions of our future, of our new world, what we want for ourselves and collectively. And so it's just like you wouldn't plant seeds in the middle of winter, right? So it's prime seed planting time for ourselves. And so we're really excited about supporting our community to utilize this energy. And so every quarter, equinox and solstice, we encourage our community and ourselves to plant the seeds of what we would like to see. And last night we're finishing our 6-month Body Love Mastery Program, and it was really fun to watch the women share the seeds they planted and what's already come true within 3 months. It's actually incredible, some of the achievements and some of the goals. One woman who read them put them away, didn't even remember them, and then we asked them all to reflect on what they achieved. She's like, every single thing happened. Like, that's the power of the creator within us. So when we talk about goals, I know that can kind of be like, yeah, goals. It's how we're creating our life, right? It's visioning. It's more than just goals, actually. It's about envisioning the life that we want and the person we want to be, and calling in our future self as well, connecting to our future self. We have a past self and we have a future self. So that being said, if you'd like to share with us what is part of your vision, when we speak it, when we share it, it's very powerful. And also, what sort of challenges are you coming up against achieving them, if any? Because if you are, I think it's going to be really relatable to all of us, because we all have inner self-sabotage energy, right? That wants to prevent us from, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that is and where that comes from. But yeah, that's very real for all of us.
What I actually,
So,
go ahead,
oh,
Miriam.
sorry.
Go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to say that I completely forgot what my goals were. Like the second that you asked about them, I was like, oh gosh, like what were they? What did I write down? Like I just, it wasn't something that I was like consciously thinking about, on a daily basis, which is different than like the way that I had approached, like, for example, the nutrition reset, where like I was reminding myself like on a daily basis, multiple times a day, what my intentions are, what my goals are. And with this, it's funny that you, like what you said, really resonated with me, Katie, because right now, when I was trying to remind myself what I originally wrote down, I was like, oh, I actually did do those things. I actually did implement that more into my weekly routine. And so it was just interesting because like I completely forgot about it on the forefront of my mind, but somewhere subconsciously, like it was working away, and I was getting it done. So that was really interesting that you mentioned that, because that obviously took place on my end.
And that I love that share, Miriam, because that feels very empowering. It's like, oh yeah, I am a conscious creator of my reality. Oh yeah, I do give direction to my life when I take time to set these goals. And if it's not something, so this is why I love doing it quarterly, because there's goals that are longer term, and then there's goals that we will achieve within those 4 months, right? 3 to 4 months. So it's like, what?
Or sooner.
Or sooner. Yeah, exactly. And so some of them we carry over. It's like, oh, I achieved that, or I'm like 50% of the way there, or I'm working towards that. But either way, it's giving direction to our choices, to our daily choices. And that's such a big part about how I notice that I create the life I want. It's about the choices I make daily, right? Or that I don't make daily that moves me further away or slowing down my achievement of what I want and pulling it in. So yeah, that's great, Miriam. So that's really cool to realize that. Yeah. And any sort of like challenges that you're aware of, like any part of you that is kind of like blocking or avoiding or not doing. I would love to hear if there's anything you'd love to share about that.
Big time. So one of my goals is that I want to eat more vegetables. I'm really good at eating, a fruit bowl every day and like eating fruits as snacks, but like veggies aren't really like
a big part of my day. And I know that I've spoken with Jamie about this, because I don't cook. Like, the truth is that, you know, for example, like my partner, he does the cooking, I do the cleaning. That's like the arrangement that we have. And so the second that I'm not with him, I don't cook, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna make a fool of myself in the kitchen. So I just end up resorting back to my old habits, where I do what's easy, what's convenient, you know, what's not necessarily, you know, nutritious, but it's fast. And even just like today was like a prime example of that. The second I left his place, I just resorted right back to my poor habits from the past. So yeah, and it's still not something that I haven't taken. I have so much resistance that like I haven't taken that leap to actually like try, you know, one of Jamie's like cooking videos. Like I haven't tried to learn how to cook. I still am very reluctant to do so.
That's a really good thing to notice.
It is. And the thing is, if you don't love cooking, it's challenging, but the reality is we have to eat. We have to eat multiple times a day. And especially when you want to live an active lifestyle, you want to make sure that you have the proper fuel to be able to do all the things that you want to do and maintain your vitality. So as someone who also works with couples, sometimes it's like, how do you deepen the intimacy in your relationship? Cook together. And then you get to learn a little bit from him about, you know, what he does. You get to empower yourself with the knowledge around, you know, making things, doing things. And it's about starting simple and having a system for it, instead of just being like, you know, you see a recipe and it's like, you know, 18 steps, where it's like, okay, let's rewind. What can we do that's only like 4 steps? Because there's plenty of dishes we can make that are only 4 steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, I get overwhelmed just like looking at a recipe, and the second that it's like got more than 4 or 5 steps, I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this. This is too stressful. It's overwhelming.
I get it. So maybe this week or in the next 2 weeks, the goal is to do that cooking video and to do it with your partner, so that you feel like you've got a little extra support along the way. I know you can do it. And I also know how incredible it feels when you do achieve that goal, as simple as it is.
The key is though, like
Okay.
you said something really important. You said, you know, you have a lot of resistance to it. And so that's actually an invitation to go inside and to do some looking at some of your beliefs, right? Because wherever there's a lot of resistance, there's also a lot of empowerment and freedom, actually. And there's resistance for a reason. But personally, someone who loves to talk about nutrition but doesn't love to cook. So I love nutritious food and I love eating amazing food, but do I enjoy being in the kitchen? No, I don't. That's not my joy. Cutting up, I just did this the last couple of days, cutting up vegetables and having them in the fridge. It might seem so silly, like it has to be some fancy recipe. No, just put the vegetables in your mouth and chew them. And when I moved to Vancouver Island to live with this yogi, like a friend, he was a friend's uncle, and he was in his 80s. He was one of the healthiest humans I knew, and I wanted to understand his secrets. And he ate so healthy and so simply. And every night we chopped up 10 different vegetables. Half of them went into a steamer and the other half were raw. And we made this big salad every night. Simple dressing. It was beautiful. The simplicity was incredible. We would drink coconut water, because over there you can get coconuts easy, and get coconut water and a fruit bowl in the morning. And he was just this like huge vitality, running 3 businesses still, like just this incredible human. So I want to reiterate, it doesn't have to be fancy. It's about getting those nutrients into you. So start with just simple, cut up the vegetables and make a snack plate. Have a salad, right? We're coming into summer season. And then you can get into fancy recipes.
Right.
I was going to say, one of our clients from one of the programs a couple of months back, her hack for, you know, being able to do this, because she also struggled with meal prep. As soon as she went grocery, or as soon as she came home from grocery shopping, she would prep all of her vegetables. Peel and cut all the carrots, all the celery, chop the peppers, put it in Ziploc bags or Tupperwares in the fridge. And that way it was just very easy to grab and go. Or if she needed to process it further, it was already like cleaned and half prepared already. So maybe that's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
And I actually want to jump
better
in.
life.
I want to jump into some of the whys because this is coming up, and we'll come to you afterwards, Jennifer, if that's okay. But why people have trouble sticking to their goals. And the first one that Katie and I came up with was that you just have too many goals. Sometimes when we're trying to push ourselves to grow, we have these lofty ideas and we take on so much, and we kind of set ourselves up to fail because we are taking on too much. So it's like, can you pick two things or even just one thing that's really important to you and make that your goal for the month or make that your goal for the week? And when you feel like you've integrated that, then you can add another goal into the mix. The second one is that we sabotage ourselves. So that goes along with making too many goals. And when we sabotage ourselves, self-sabotage, the second we stray from our goal, so let's say the goal is around diet, eating more vegetables. Let's say you go for a day without eating vegetables, you fall off the wagon. You're like, oh, I fell off the wagon. I might as well just let this goal go out the window. And then you just go back to the bad habits over and over and over again. You forget about it completely. So it's like, how about if you're just like, okay, I didn't do this yesterday. I'm noticing that I avoided my goal or I didn't make my goal today, but I want to get back on the wagon tomorrow. I'm going to start first thing in the morning and I'm going to do that one little thing to help stay to what my vision was, why I want to do this.
Can I give an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of our current clients in our group, so she reached out to me outside of the group and said, I really need accountability. I'm like, great. I love being accountability partners. I think it's super fun to watch people achieve. And if I can support them, then great. And so it was about getting back on celery juice in the morning and doing our exercise program because both had fallen off her routine. And so it was just, okay, the goal is 5 days a week, I'm going to do my celery. And 1 day a week, I'm going to do the exercise. The first week, I think celery was done twice. And the intention was for her to check in each day and tell me if she did it or not. And it brought up like the shame. Oh my God, I have to tell Katie I didn't do it. And so she got to process this and she started noticing, oh, I'm really avoiding it, even though it's not that hard to do. So it was like, in the accountability, she started to reveal to herself her inner self-saboteur and then overcame it because I kept cheerleading her and saying, it's not a fail, it's not a fail. And then all of a sudden she did it and she's like, oh, I do feel good. Second day, oh, I do feel really good. Third day, fourth day, within a week and a half, she's like, I've already lost weight and I already feel better and I'm hooked again. Thank you. I'm back on. So sometimes it's not a linear path. That's what I want to say. It's not a linear path. Sometimes it's a really crazy meandering path. And sometimes it's just like, we need an accountability partner. Sometimes we just can't overcome that inertia on our own and all the negative ego voices that come up, right? And so reaching out to someone and asking for that support, I think it's really empowering. We're not meant to do everything our own. We are here for each other, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. So the next one is the lack of planning. And that's not just the lack of planning, it's coming up with a process. So again, going back to the person who, goes grocery shopping and as soon as they come home, the plan is they unpack everything, they process everything so that they stay on track to succeed with their goal. So whenever you set your goal out to, it's like, what are the daily action steps you're going to take so that you feel like, okay, I'm achieving this and I'm achieving this and I'm getting here and I'm going and I'm forging ahead and I'm getting there. So really systemizing the goal. So taking the large goal and then breaking it up into little parts. Okay, for the first couple of days, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. That's going to help you to stay on track. The number 5, which we already talked a little bit about, is the accountability. Having a coach, having someone that you have to check in with every day on what your goal is. And allowing yourself to go through that process if you didn't do it, to feel, the shame or the guilt or the insecurity around it, whatever comes up is an opportunity to process and to learn a little bit more about yourself.
That's bang on right there, because we're here to learn and grow as souls. We are here to learn, grow, and expand, right? And that process, can and will bring us what J-Love and I are really, 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 really big into is supporting people to bring them all the way to their core limiting beliefs. Because ultimately, what stops us from achieving anything instantly, because we are manifestors and we can create instantly. That's the power we're moving into as humans, souls embodied in human experience. What would be blocking us? A belief that it's not possible, right? A core limiting belief that I'm a failure, that I'm unworthy, that I'm incapable, that I'm powerless. And personally, I've been doing a lot of this over the last 3 months, and I am moving mountains. Like the things that are showing up and the things that I'm achieving and what's showing up in reality and attracting, it was right there. My higher self was like, I'm just waiting to give it to you. I'm just waiting. You tell me when. I had to move the block, right? And so what's so beautiful about setting goals is it gives us an opportunity to see when we're not achieving them. Well, why? You get to go digging and free yourself from that core limiting belief. And there's a handful that we're all operating, each of us individually are operating out of, and it's creating the life that we're living. So that's the juicy fun work that we love going deeper into with our clients or in our programs. And, that's not just nutrition talk, but it's all related, coaching people for over a decade and a half. I was like, oh, I could tell everyone the perfect diet. This is about helping you with your mind so that you actually change how you think and feel so that then you want to do that food or eat that food automatically. It's not because Katie told you so, but this is a much deeper process than just eat your vegetables, Miriam. Like if it was that simple, we wouldn't be talking like this, right? Because we know everyone's like, oh, I know that. I know that. That's healthy. So this is about knowing thyself and expanding and dissolving what doesn't work for us.
So another reason why we don't stick to our goals is the lack of consistency. So when we don't have the plan, we can't be consistent about showing up and taking those action steps towards it. You have no vision. So it's like you're not clear on the why. And so you don't stay committed to the goal because you don't understand what's going to happen in the 6 months from now when you achieve the goal. So being really, really clear on why I'm doing this, how this is going to impact and affect my life, how this is going to impact and affect the people around me that I love, that I share my life with. And so it's just going that step further. And the last reason why is because we think we need to be perfect at everything we do. And perfectionism is not reality. We are human, which means we're going to fuck up. We're going to fall off the wagon. We're going to eat pizza. And it's how do we forgive ourselves after we mess up, after we don't stick perfectly to that unattainable goal because we thought we had to be perfect at it. So it is about being messy through the process. It is about being challenged. It is about not achieving the goal right away, but going through all these steps. And finally, Katie already mentioned it, but at the core of all of these reasons why is the limiting belief. I don't like cooking. I'm not good at this. Whatever the belief is, but we have to go through these layers and layers and layers to uncover it.
Yeah. So what does that bring up for either of you? Does that resonate? Were there points where you're like, oh yeah, that's an interesting perspective? Was there anything that sort of jumped out? I'd love to hear if anything really resonated or didn't resonate.
Well, I'll go ahead as long as you don't mind, Jen, that I'm just stealing the microphone. So yeah, definitely. Like, I know that one of the things that I always repeat to myself is the fact that I hate cooking. I suck at cooking. If my partner sees me attempting to cook, he'll realize what a moron I am in the kitchen. And so I have this whole story that I keep playing in my head, and I'm just embarrassed, to be honest, to to the fact that I'm 30 years old and I still don't know how to cook. And the only thing I've mastered is French toast and pancakes. So yeah, it's very much like a lot of like embarrassment and like shame is attached to it. And so I don't want people, I don't want to like expose my weaknesses to people, especially like people that, you know, I want them to like find me attractive and things like that. And so it's just, yeah, it's always been this like zone that I just always stay away from. And it's, you know, it's off limits for Miriam, because anytime I have attempted to cook things, you know, it's a disaster, and, you know, things are burning or something goes in fire. It's stressful. It's so stressful. My anxiety goes through the roof, so that I just avoid it.
Thank
Wow.
you. That's really
Thank you.
insightful. The embarrassment and the shame. Absolutely. We're going to do things to avoid feeling those feelings. Yeah. Which, when you identify that, you can then free yourself and actually just come forward and say that to your partner, like, I'm kind of embarrassed. You can kind of like, or I feel a little shamed, and you can just kind of clear that and then say, actually, I do want to learn, or I do want to do this with you. And it gives you the opportunity. But yeah, there's ways to move through. But the first step is the awareness. That's brilliant.
And sort of in a deeper way, when you said, you know, in the past, when I've attempted this, it's been a disaster. So something that's unhealed about the past is preventing you in your future from going after the thing that you need to overcome to dissolve the shame and the insecurity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. I'm just stuck living in the past.
Well, that's really, yes. That is a really big thing that we love, Jamie and I love to do for ourselves and support you, is just like to really understand how the stored trauma in our mind, in our nervous system, it's just repeating itself until we do something about it, right? Until we call it forward and fully heal it all the way through. And that's why we say history repeats itself. Like, these things are just on repeat until we say no more. And there's processes for that. It's so empowering. It's so empowering when we learn these processes. I know personally, because I was like, what? Why is this happening again? And yeah, there's processes that I've learned that have been very empowering to dissolve the root, which is bringing that experience over and over to our attention for us, right? You're being faced with that embarrassment and shame so that it's a gift to go heal that root trauma or whatever that is that's related to that. And then also to create a new experience and to free up the space for a new experience, because that's the beauty of being human. We can continue to create and recreate our reality more in alignment with what we want. Jennifer, is there anything that's coming up for you that resonated or you would like to share?
Can you hear me? Is this on properly?
It's
You
great.
can hear me, okay. Hopefully that noise won't come back, because it was coming back, because I think you would hear it through this for sure. But anyway, one thing that keeps coming to my mind is I'm never upset for the reason I think. So I always find that helpful to remember that when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. You know, it's definitely, and really that's just another iteration of what you guys are saying. That it's never about the actual story we're in. It's something else. You know, it's a repetitive thing. And that was just one thing that helped me. Going back a little bit in the conversation, and this, you know, now that I've heard more of what Miriam's saying, it's maybe not that applicable, but one thing that helps me with cooking after all these years, you know, I'm 64, I have 5 kids, so you can imagine I'm doing a lot of cooking. And joy is not found for me in the kitchen either. Like I've been thinking about that recently, because I'm still cooking. And I look forward to those days where I actually don't have to make dinner. So I'm not the person that just loves being in the kitchen. But if I know what I'm making for dinner in the morning, it changes my whole day. Just that simple thing. If I actually know what's for dinner in the morning. I mean, it would be really nice even the night before, but that doesn't usually happen because I'm not much of a planner or a goal setter. but I hate going through my day with it oh shoot, I don't know what's for dinner, and then it's gone again, and then a few hours later, damn, it's 5 o'clock. I still don't know what's for dinner. It just stresses me out all day long. So I've realized that just knowing what it is, even if it's a grilled cheese for everybody, it's just, which obviously doesn't happen much these days, but or at all for me, but it's really helpful to know that. Because I have known so many women that are so great at all kinds of prep work and sticking to things consistently and everything. And I've gone through trying to, fit me into all that. And I've just never been able to do it. I've never been able to be that woman that does that. And there are lots of women that do. And it's great. And they're consistent. And I have longed to be that woman over the years, but I just never have. So but I can more often than not remember to figure out what's for dinner in the morning. And it's just a big stress relief. But I was thinking about the goal setting thing. I was trying to remember from our last Zoom meeting what I said, and I don't know, I remembered actually. One of the things was to do everything Katie's telling me to do. And the other thing was early to bed, early to rise. I wanted to get back into going to bed early because I love getting up early. And then I was thinking about, well, okay, what's my report on this? How have I been doing? And I have not, as you know, Katie, I've been doing a lot of what Katie's been telling me to do, but I have not been doing all of what Katie's been telling me to do. But the cool thing is that as per our conversation today, it's fantastic, really, that I haven't been, because there was much more important, deeper work that needed to be done. And that is getting done. So that's exciting, that getting to the reasons why I'm not doing the thing that I want to do, and I am doing the thing that I do not want to do. So I feel like I've really accomplished, I've just taken huge strides in accomplishing the goal that I set, even though I haven't actually done it. You know what I mean?
I would say
Um,
massive breakthrough today.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this process again over the next few days, because I know I need to solidify it. When something like this happens, I always know now that I really do need to pay close attention to it for a few days to really let it sink in. And but I have been going to bed earlier and getting up earlier. I'm getting back into that. So that I have been having some success with. Dave was sick for a while, so it threw us right off.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was sleeping weird hours and stuff. And so that's good, because when I get up early, I get to just sit quietly for a while, and I get to do a few minutes. I have these recordings with Sasha that are like 10, 15 minutes long that I do. Now I found I found one of the restorative videos, the restorative yoga videos, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm starting to recognize what's in the way of that. And it's some physical reorganizational things I have to do, which I will do. And so I know what you mean, though. One thing for me that I try to avoid doing is setting too many goals. That resonated with me when you talked about that, because they really do come flooding in, because there really are so many things I need to do, and then as soon as I catch myself thinking about big lists, or day books and things like that, I sort of rein myself in again, and realize that that's really just another way of overwhelming myself. and then I just get nothing done, even worse.
Mhm.
So
Incredible when we have so many things to do and we see that list and it paralyzes us from doing anything.
Yeah.
yes,
Mm,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So something that's nice to do is to write that list of all the things that you want done and then put a number next to it. What's the most important and what's the least important now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, or even if,
Get to the most
Yeah.
important thing
Yeah.
today.
Pick one even. Yeah.
That's it. You can get to the most important thing today. And then maybe tomorrow you can go back to the list and again, put a number next to it. And what's the most important thing that day?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Those are the things that really help me. And also putting it in
Yeah.
the schedule with an alarm that goes off a day before, an hour before, 5 minutes before.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
really
That's a good
allowing
idea.
technology to work for us and for what we want to accomplish.
Yes. I may have gone too far away from the goal setting thing. I think that's what I tend to do. I go, it's feast or famine, you know, I go too far and then too far in the other direction. Like I can't handle this, so I'm just not going to set any goals. I'm just going to wing my way through life. And that doesn't usually, it can be okay to, you know, I can tell me, oh, I'm just being in the moment, but
Yeah.
I think there's a happy medium in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
that,
where having a little more masculine energy helps us because that's the more structured energy that helps us make sure that like we have a plan instead of just going with the flow of all the time and then being like, well, wait, I really actually wanted to do X, Y, and Z.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
both. It's both. And it's also a middle
Yeah.
ground. I know that I've been all or nothing and I've been many things that have just sabotaged my life. And I was like, okay, so the middle ground is baby steps. And then I also noticed in my coaching, clients would not succeed if I gave them all everything at once. So it's actually one or two things that you can master. The success is so much
Yes.
bigger and you feel fulfilled, you feel
Yeah.
accomplished, you feel good about yourself, right? We're all going
Yeah.
after feelings. So if we're feeling bad, then what do? We start to lower our resonance. And then in that lowered resonance, what's available to us? Usually self-sabotaging. Oh, I'm going to stay up late and watch TV and numb out. I'm going to eat all those cookies because I feel in this resonance. But if we're feeling good in this resonance, we have a whole other set of reality available.
Yeah.
We have a whole other set
Yeah.
of choices available to us. And so part of the
Yeah.
journey is to understand how to actually support you or myself when I'm doing it for myself to feel good. We want to feel good. And so even when we do the thing that's bad and we didn't do what Katie said, it's not about, oh, shame. It's about, okay, why? Great. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to learn.
Hmm.
Set too many goals. Is there a limiting belief? And so to give a little context, Jennifer and I went through this unwind your mind that I learned through my coach, 10-step trigger unwind. So anytime you're triggered in life, you get to go and do this process. And instead of being the victim of your reality, you're taking full responsibility for unwinding your mind to get to the core limiting belief. You release that and you get
Hmm.
to actually do what you want to do in life because you don't have these blockers. So, and it's breakthrough. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing this for, I think, many humans who are here to awaken to this for the next couple of years. The earth is literally just being pounded with light and support for us to unwind the darker belief systems and emotions and traumas and really free ourselves so that we can live in a lighter world and we can live in a lighter body and a more free existence. So that's like, I like talking high level, but it's like, what does that mean on our micro responsibility as a human level, right? This is the level of responsibility we're being asked to take. No more can we outsource what we're here to grow and learn, and no more can we blame. It's just not going to get us anywhere, right? Our empowerment is about looking inside. And so our nutrition and our health, these are all just ways that are helping us to look inside, right? Yeah. And so that's why we like doing
Yeah.
this community, because I think we can support each other. I have days where I have to reach out to friends or my coach and I'm just in the dumps. And then all of a sudden I'm reminded of why I'm doing this and I re-empower myself and raise my resonance. I'm like, oh yeah. And the freedom's there. But without that
Hmm.
support from each other, could be days before I get out of that dump again, So
Yeah.
it's just so beautiful to have each other to do this with and grow.
Mm.
Yeah. And that's why we created
Oh
them.
yeah,
We want to, open up the communication and the collaboration, and everyone has such beautiful insights to share. And yeah.
the accountability is very helpful too. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And what's so beautiful about, I know, our
Yeah.
mission, which is moving from comparison and competition to collaboration and high-fiving each other. It's like your success actually means to me,
Mhm.
I could have a success too. Right. So when I hear about someone else's
Mhm.
success, like in the group that I'm in being coached, I'm like, oh my God, that was instant. She cleared that belief and a phone call came in. Like, we'll share with each other our successes. We're like, that just happened. And it's like, yes, that's how quick reality can change when we change. Right. And so watching this happen for each other,
Mhm.
the other reason we like community, because on our own, it's a slower learning process. There's not as much reflections. There's not as much inspiration. There's not as much like energy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sharing,
Yeah.
being vulnerable, right? Like the shame,
Mhm.
gosh, we hide so much in shame. And when we feel we can vulnerably share, we can move stuff so much quicker.
Mhm. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Getting back to the beginning of the call when Katie said that this time of year was such a potent time to be setting out your goals for yourself. And it's not just, let's change the word goal to growth. So it's sending out the growth path for yourself for the next cycle. So I am going to invite you to join us on Monday night. We're doing the
Mhm.
free monthly guided meditation, and we're going to sit in ceremony together and plant seeds for the future, and so that we can create that growth path together, bringing all of our energy and all the things that are going to bring us joy. And when we have joy, we show up more joyfully, and that just spreads like wildfire. So that's the intention. And also I would love for you to go and at some point in the next few weeks, put it in your calendar, do this goal setting meditation, and it might help you get some clarity. And it's a step-by-step process. There's 4 steps in the meditation, and you can do it a couple times. And with meditation, with this stuff, with manifesting, which is really what we're doing, you have to have some consistency. Personally, for me, until I put my meditation practice at the beginning, first thing in the day, I didn't do it. I said I wanted to do it, but I didn't actually do it. So I stay in bed in the morning. I wake up a little earlier. I'm lying in bed and I listen to my meditation practice every morning, and I do guided meditation. And I found after 4 years of that, that's what helped me stick to it, is that I don't have to sit. I don't have to get tall. I don't have to, be in this specific posture. I can listen to someone and allow them to guide me through a process. And that's what really is supporting me. And so if that means, you for the next couple of days, get up 20 minutes earlier and listen to this goal setting meditation, let it serve you. Let it be the inspiration for your growth in the next cycle.
Okay. I did do the cooking video, Jamie, and it was
done.
really good. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the next one. We're so happy that you were here. And to those of you who watch this in a future timeline, share what you're working on, what you're being challenged by, what resonated with you, which one of these why I can't stick to my goal is the one that, you're experiencing right now. And then let us know what you're celebrating as well. Because we are here to high five each other. That's the whole part of community. That's what gives us the drive to want to continue. So.
And join us live in our fitness classes. Oh, I love when I see people join me. Like, so fun. We're all in our living room.
Hopefully we see you there, and Monday night where we can all be in Zoom together and see each other's faces. That will be really, really nice as well. And sending love out there.
Monday night, what are we doing Monday night in Zoom?
Oh, Monday night is so every last Monday.
Oh, the meditation.
Yes. Yeah. So
okay.
I'll just say that
it's live
in the future.
It's live. Okay. Yeah.
Live meditation and sound healing.
Yeah. On
Great.
our 1-year anniversary, we decided that to support our community with all that's happening in the world, how can we support and give back? Each month, the last Monday of every month for this year, we're going to offer free guided meditation and sound healing. And the last one filled our hearts up. It's still filling our hearts when we read the praise and testimonies. People are like, that's exactly what I needed. And it's just so beautiful to see us come together and be able to gift each other with our presence and guidance. And so, yeah, it's a gift for us to be able to gift you. So, Miriam, I know you said that you might not be able to make it because of work. So why don't you give us your goals or something you want us to plant a seed for you, and we'll add it to that ceremony, because the magic of sound, it amplifies. And when we're in group and we all are planting seeds, there's something when we come into sacred ceremony ritual like that, that is beyond our logical mind. It's quite powerful. So we would love to receive whatever seeds you want. We'll add that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, definitely. I'll take you up on that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that offer.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're all here to support each other in that, and hold the vision for each other. It's really beautiful. So thank you for being here, and we love you so much. And we're really, really grateful for your accountability
Thank you.
first and foremost. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jamie, Katie. All the thank yous to you too for putting this together, not just once this month, but 2 times. So
Yes.
appreciative of all the time. You're so generous with your knowledge and with your time and just with your presence. I love soaking you two up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we love you.
Ditto.
Both of you. Yes. And all you beings that didn't get to enjoy your presence, and I know you're going to be watching in the future. Mwah. Much love to all of you. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Okay. Bye.